All right, good morning, traders. It is December 8th, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I am the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Thank you to everybody, Podcast Land, Cyberland, Digiland. Appreciate that. Thank you for following my content, subscribing to my content, sharing my content. Special shout out, John Jordan, Bob Jordan, Kathy, Sarah Roasted. Thank you for sharing the content. Appreciate that. Helps get the good word out there to the rest of the world out there on the World Wide Web. All right, thank you. Let's take a look at this morning. And wait a minute, got a few announcements, I think. And holiday hours, okay? We're closed from the 24th to the 26th, okay? And then we're closed from the 31st till the 2nd of the year, all right? So those are our holiday hours. And Max Pain, no, not Max Pain, but Max Risk for today. Trading accounts up at 43,907. Max Risk is going to be 10%. That's 43.90. Daily goal is always 1%. That's 439. Hey, good morning, Lenny. All right, see what we can find here. Okay, so my SPY pivot this morning, 685.35. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. Silver made a new all-time high on Friday. SPY, QQQ, FNGU, and Diamond Dow all made higher highs, higher lows, closing over bullish traps over their 17 EMAs. IWM made an equal high with a higher low, closing over a bullish trap over the 17. SPY closed with a 2-hour uptrend and its 10-minute downtrend. Silver in a daily uptrend, of course, we already know that made a new all-time high. Gold in a daily uptrend made a higher low and a higher high, closing inside a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. USO in a daily downtrend made a higher low and a higher high, closing over a bullish trap and over the 17 EMA. UNG in a daily uptrend made a higher high and a higher low. Big sword candle facing with the business end up into the sky. Could be rolling over. I already see some lower numbers this morning. Closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. U.S. dollar index now in a downtrend again and closed near the 98.97 area. SPY Max Pain for today, 683 with a put-to-call ratio of about 1.2 puts for each call. That expires today at 4:15. If this is your first time seeing this cut sheet right here, all right, all of these underneath the bulls column, these three right here, all of these daily downtrends underneath the 17 EMA. All these over here, these three columns, all right, all in. Okay, these are all in daily uptrends over the 17 EMA. These are all in daily downtrends under the 17 EMA. If these have a star next to it, they're building out a launch pad from which to launch higher, or a bull flag. Okay, if they got a little star next to it. If these have a star next to it underneath the bears column, they're building out a platform or a bear flag from which to dip lower. Okay, if you've seen this for the first time, daily uptrends, daily downtrends. Let's take a look at some charts this morning. All right, so SPY in the morning hours. Okay, you got post-market from Friday, consolidation. Okay, we get consolidation over prior consolidation. That's bullish. Okay, we get consolidation over prior consolidation. So my bias is going to be bullish this morning. All right, I'm going to line up a line on the top, a line on the bottom. All right, we'll look for the breakout of the morning range. All right, that's what I'm going to trade. Is probably a breakout of the morning range. More than likely, I will also set up the first 15 minutes of trading and look for a breakout of that range as well. My bias is bullish. More than likely, I will be picking off the lows of some option candles, and the option candles that I like this morning are, I have some 4DTE. I like these right here. These 4DTE 700 strike calls. I like those right there. Okay, we're not far away from there right now. I like the 0 DTE 691 calls. Okay, 691 0 DTE, both of those. I will be looking to pick off the bottoms of those option candles. All right, so the option candles will probably, let me click on one. Okay, you can see here's one. This would be the option candles right over here. This is the option. Here's the strike. That's the expiration date. Okay, so that's what I'll probably be doing this morning. I'll be looking for the breakout so I can buy some. Now I want a breakout. I probably won't want a doji or a spinning top. I probably don't want to see any candle with a topping wick. I don't want a candle that's got more wick than body and tail. Okay, I'm looking for a breakout. Nice green candle showing me institutions are willing to step up, step in, and buy this and hold it up higher. That's what I'll be looking for this morning. No red candles either. Okay, so let's look at the game plan, and then we'll visit what happened on Friday. So here's the range that we're looking to break out of this morning. If that happens in the pre-market, you can take it. You know, a breakout of the top side of the range. We'll see. All right, so on the pre-market here, on the 15, see what we got here. Move this down just a little bit. Okay, so my pivot this morning, 685.35. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. All right, I got a green erases red entry over 688.40. That was yesterday's high. Okay, I got a red erases green entry underneath 682.70. Okay, so that would be the breakup candle low down here. See the breakup candle low? So underneath that breakup candle low, that's my red erases green entry. All right, I like 4 days till expiration and 11 days till expiration. Friday options on the multiple of 5, specifically for the open interest. All right, I like a lot of open interest because that means higher liquidity. I trade strikes $2 to $15 out of the money. Okay, remember what I said? 700 strike. See, we're at 387 or 386. So $2 to $15. So 700 strike. Trade those. 695s would work as well. Okay, so I trade strikes $2 to $15 out of the money. I like them because they're cheap. My comfortable price point for my options is anywhere between 30 cents and a $1.40. All right, that's where I'm comfortable. Over that, remember, I'm only risking. Okay, I've only got this much to risk today. Okay, 4,390. Okay, so I don't want to tie it up in a bunch of options that are in the money that are going to cost me, I don't know, $500 for just one contract. Okay, just to be in the money. Okay, I can't do that. Okay, I want my max risk is for 43.90, so I'm going to want some out of the money contracts that where price is moving up, and they will probably be in the money, hopefully, before they expire. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so there's SPY on the 10-minute. All right, I like 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. I like 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. If a 10-minute uptrend were to manifest down here, all right, long before the green erases red entry up here, okay, if a 10-minute uptrend manifests down here, or here, or here, long before the green erases red entry, I would look for it to break either a 10-minute bullish rubber band candle or a 15-minute bullish rubber band candle or a 5-minute bullish rubber band candle, okay? Got to have some standards. You just can't take any uptrend, any 10-minute uptrend, okay? So you'll probably want to have a standard by which, or a threshold by which that is your trigger point once it breaks that candle and you got forward momentum, all right? So that's what I like. 10-minute uptrends where the 5-minute bullish rubber band candle is broken or the 10-minute bullish rubber band candle is broken, okay? Same with the downtrends, okay? I like 10-minute downtrends. I trade them. If one were to manifest up here, all right, or up here, long before the red erases green entry, I'm not opposed to trading it. Again, I would want to see, all right, on the 10-minute chart or the 5-minute chart or the 15, a break of the bearish rubber band candle on their respective chart time frame. Okay, that's what I would want to see. All right, just can't take any old pullback. All right, you want to probably see a break of that candle, and the point of interest, all right, is probably going to be VWAP. All right, so I like 10-minute downtrends under VWAP, 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. Now my favorite trade, okay, you guys already know it. It's 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. That resides inside a 2-hour uptrend, that resides inside of a daily uptrend, that resides inside the weekly uptrend, inside the monthly uptrend, and it's all over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's my favorite trade. Okay, so what do we have right now? Let's go look at some charts. Pick up a clean one here, see what we can get. All right, on the 10-minute, we have a 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. On the 2-hour, we have 2-hour uptrend. See the 3 EMA and the candlesticks up over the 8 EMA. So we have a 2-hour uptrend coming into the close on Friday. 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. This is pre-market today. 10-minute downtrend coming into the close on Friday. If we look at Friday's price action, we can box it off. Okay, so didn't want that. Okay, we can box it off. And you can see we have consolidation or price action over prior price action. Okay, you get consolidation, or you can call it price action over prior price action. That's bullish. Now in the pre-market, what do we have? All right, we've got, again, post-market consolidation from yesterday right here. Okay, let's move this down just a little bit. Post-market consolidation from Friday. And then over here we've got consolidation over prior consolidation. Okay, so you can see I can zoom right across the top. See how we got consolidation here? This consolidation is up on top. That's bullish. That's going to give me my bullish bias this morning. Okay, so we got a 2-hour uptrend. So things are already looking good this morning. Looking for price to run up there and tackle yesterday's high. Now you can see we've got some sword candles up there. We got some upside down hammers. All right, so obviously we got a group of sellers up there. Not to say that we can't cut through them, all right? But we'll see what happens, all right? So when we get up there, okay? Probably be a place to take off some profit. Probably more like maybe 50 or 60% of my profit, and let the other 40% ride to see if it goes up any higher. Okay, so there's SPY on the 10-minute chart. We are near the all-time highs. Let's take a look at how close we are with those on the daily candle. Okay, so this right here is the all-time high. And you can see how close we are. Okay, so you can see here's the high of yesterday. This is the all-time high. See how it cuts just across the body right there of that all-time high candle. Okay, so we are dangerously close to producing a new all-time high this week. I picture that to happen sometime this week. Another thing to take a note of, all right? We got a 1, 2, 3 top, okay? So, you know, keep your head on a swivel, all right? We got ourselves a little triple top going on here, and things could, you know, if things turn south, they could get ugly fast, all right? So I'm just saying, if you got the chance to take profit into prior wicks or prior profit-taking areas, I wouldn't be afraid of taking them. Try to stay with the trend as long as you can, all right, on that 10-minute uptrend. But keep your eyes open for a possible double top on the 10-minute chart today, a possible triple top on the 10-minute chart today. If that happens, you could see a blast down. We'll see what happens. Okay, so there's SPY on the daily chart. I don't think it's going to happen. All right, I think they really want to set a new all-time high. Okay, because remember after this red candle here, they ran off and set a new all-time high. Okay, this looks like deja vu. I think they want to run off and set another new all-time high. We'll see what happens. Okay, so there's SPY on the daily candle. Okay, if we look at it right here, you got a higher low and a higher high. We closed over a bullish trap over the rising 17. See the purple or the pink line there? Over the all-time high anchored VWAP. So up at the top of quadrant, I'll zoom way out. Here's the April low. We're at the top of quadrant 4. That's bullish. All right. And in an uptrend. All right. We are dangerously close of making a new all-time high. Possibly even today. Okay. I still think they're going after 700 or greater. I actually think there's now this room to get up to 750. We'll see what happens. Weekly chart, still in an uptrend, and we're bullish. Top of quadrant 4, same thing. Monthly chart, bullish, still in an uptrend. Okay, top of quadrant 4, we're bullish. So there's SPY on the monthly, weekly, daily, 2 hour. All right, the only one that wasn't working was the 10-minute on the close on Friday. Okay, but in the pre-market, you can see we already got ourselves a 10-minute uptrend. Okay, so there's SPY. I shared the game plan with you. Let's go take a look at QQQ. QQQ on the monthly chart. Okay, again, bullish and in an uptrend. Weekly chart, bullish. Top of quadrant 4 and in an uptrend. I'm going to take that off. Okay, bullish and in an uptrend. On the daily chart, yesterday's candle, not this one. This one right here next to the red hammer. Okay, higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. Okay, and over the all-time high anchored VWAP. So again, QQQ in a daily uptrend, making higher highs and higher lows. Top of quadrant 4, that's bullish and in an uptrend. My favorite trade, same thing on QQQ. 10-minute uptrend that resides inside of a 2-hour uptrend, that resides inside of a daily uptrend. It lives inside the weekly, inside the monthly. Okay, you got all the bigger time frames supporting that 10-minute uptrend to go higher and last longer. All right, so there's QQQ. Let's take a look at the game plan. We'll look at the 10-minute. 10-minute is a 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. Okay, more like consolidation, really. If we look at price action, we've got price action over prior price action. So I'm going to call it consolidation over prior consolidation. Nice bullish gap up that the bears never filled right there. Same thing on SPY. Okay, bullish gap up. And the bears never filled that gap either. Okay, on SPY. Okay, back to QQQ. Okay, we'll hit the game plan. That's nice. 10-minute. See the 10-minute chart. You got the 3 candlesticks riding on top of the 3. Okay, the 3 is up over the 8. The 8 is up over the 17. Okay, the only thing you're missing is VWAP. I don't know why that's not on there. We could juice that up. Okay, over VWAP, 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. All right, you got some green erases red right here with that red candle. Green erasing it right there. That's an entry right over that candle right there. Green erases red. See, starting to take off now. Okay, QQQ and SPY. Probably doing the same thing, SPY. Let's take a look. Not soppy. Okay, SPY. Okay, again, they're breaking out of the range. That's a buy. That's a green erases red right there. Okay, green erases red to go to the upside. So there's SPY on the 10-minute. All right, back to QQQ. Okay, QQQ breaking out as well. Okay, that's a buy right there. Green erases red. For me, that is. All right. Remember, trade your plan. Okay. Let's go back and look at the game plan. Okay, on the game plan, let's pick up. Let's move this back just a little bit. All right, and let's pull these into focus. and these in the focus. Okay, pivot 624.65. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. Green erases red over 628.95. Red erases green underneath 621.30. Okay, again, okay, same thing as SPY. I like 4 days till expiration and 11 days till expiration. Friday options on the multiple of 5. I like strikes $2 to $15 out of the money. I trade 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. I trade 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. Okay, this qualifies for a 10-minute uptrend over VWAP right there. Okay, price is consolidating over top. Remember, we got sellers up here. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay, and we also have a triple top showing on the daily time frame, at least on SPY. Not on. I don't think we see it on QQQ. Let me pick up the daily chart of QQQ. And let's pick up a clean chart here. Yeah, QQQ does not have the triple top. SPY does. All right, but QQQ making a nice comeback. Definitely in an uptrend and bullish right there. Okay, let's take a look at IWM. Okay, IWM, it's this red candle here. Okay, equal high, higher low, closing over bullish trap, over the rising 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Did not set a new all-time high, came pennies away from it. Okay, so you can see the high there is 252.66, 252.77. All right, very, very close to making new all-time highs, IWM. Okay, that's bullish and in an uptrend right there. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. All right, Diamond Dow would be this this green candle next to the red one. Okay, higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap, over the 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. They're still in a downtrend. The reason they're still in a downtrend because they got this low, they made a lower low. Now we need to make a higher high. Okay, here's the high to beat right here. Okay, so they got to take out the all-time high, make a new high. Okay, got a daily. It's moving up, but currently in a downtrend because they got themselves lower than this candle right here below the 17. Okay, so we got a downtrend. Let's look at it. That's not working. Okay, a downtrend that's not moving down. It's actually moving up. Or a huge pullback in the downtrend. Okay, so there's Diamond Dow. That's bullish and in a dysfunctional downtrend right there. Okay, dysfunctional downtrend. In other words, a downtrend that's not moving up. Okay, that's not moving down. It's not moving down. Okay, so there's Diamond Dow. That's bullish up there, top of quadrant 4. Okay, let's take a look at FNGU. FNGU, yesterday's candle, it's going to be this green one right here, okay? So it's a higher low. It's a higher high. It closed over the trap, okay? Over the trap, because that's the yellow line. Over the 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Okay, so that's bullish and in an uptrend right there. The only one that's in a downtrend is Diamond Dow, and the only reason it's in a Diamond Dow is in a downtrend is because it didn't have a lower high that poked over the 17 from which to dominate or make the higher high from. All right, so they got to go all the way back to the all-time high in order to negate the downtrend status. Remember, it's just a label. All right, labels are cheap and they're free. Okay, so take it with a grain of salt, that downtrend. It's a downtrend that's really not working, all right, on that Diamond Dow. So FNGU, that's bullish and in an uptrend here on FNGU. All right, let's take a look at a few commodities. We'll look at silver. Okay, here's silver's candle right there. You can see the big spike, all that wick up there. It's a new all-time high. Drop the mic. It doesn't get any better than that. Okay, on silver. Gold. Gold yesterday is a higher low and a higher high, closing inside a bullish trap, okay, and over the rising 17 and over See the pink line, all-time high anchored VWAP. So there's silver and gold. Check out UNG. All right, got the almost a sword, got an upside down hammer. Okay, so that's not good for the bulls. All right, when you get the upside down hammer, that's the equivalent of almost equivalent of the sword with the business end up in the sky. Okay, so UNG, higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap, over the rising 17, over, see the uptrend line, over the 2025 high anchored VWAP right there. Okay, that is neutral. All right, they're not in the upper third, they're not in the lower third, so they're neutral and in an uptrend. That's working out nicely. Okay, I would expect they pull back to trend line or somewhere along this 2025 high anchored VWAP right along there, and maybe J hook off of there. We'll see what happens. There's UNG on the daily chart. Let's take a look at USO. All right, USO, it's this nice green candle that poked through the downtrend line. Okay, they're still not in an uptrend. They got to take out this high. Price action right here is a higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17, but underneath the 2022 post-COVID high right there, anchored VWAP. That's the pink line. Okay, so you can see they've been here before once, twice, 3 times, 4th time. They're poking it and they're getting rejected again. So USO on the daily chart, still in a downtrend. The nice thing is, it doesn't seem to be moving down. It seems to be moving maybe a little bit to the north and over to the right. All right, so there's USO on the daily chart. Still in a downtrend, still in neutral territory, just like UNG. That's USO. All right, let's take a look at our technicals. T2101. This would be market breadth. Okay, also known as participation. Okay, and notice we have less participation as price rallies up higher and higher. Okay, so they're not going to be anybody, if this participation drops too low, there won't be anybody to sell to. All right, the institutions, all right, need people to sell to. All right, and if the breadth keeps dropping, there won't be anybody left to sell to. All right, which will make it a tough day. All right, it's necessary to have to make new all-time highs, to have somebody to sell it to in order to make the new all-time highs. So there's T2101. So I don't like the idea of market losing participation, but it is what it is. All right, we're still up over this consolidation right here all through October and parts of November. So that's positive, all right? Hopefully they can J-hook off the top of this and find their way back up here and gain some more participation. That's T2101. T2122, we spent our day, the most part of the day on Friday, chomping around inside the buy zone. All right, spent a little time in the overbought zone, spent a little time in the buyer's chop zone. Okay, but all in all, we held the highs up there. So that's bullish, holding those highs up there. T2122. T2123. Okay, got a bullish gap up, not filled by the bears. Nice. Same thing happened the day before. Bullish gap up, not filled by the bears. Same thing happened the day before that. Bullish gap up, not filled by the bears. T2122 has, well, we were in an uptrend. There's a low. They made a lower low. So price action is in a downtrend currently. But they are bullish because they're on the north side of the hooking 200 SMA. And if I zoom way out, we can take a look at the quad lines. And this is the all-time high. And you can see this is the pullback low. And you can see price right here on FNGU no longer in the lower third. So that's kind of neutral right there, no longer in the lower third. So that's very nice. This was bearish down here before. That's on the 15-minute chart. Again, you can see price making a low here below the 17. They're making lower lows, so that makes it in a downtrend there on T2123. T2123 3-bar chart. We got a low right here. A high right here, and we have yet to make a higher high. We still haven't made a higher high. As soon as we make a higher high sometime today, we will negate the downtrend and convert the uptrend. Currently, price underneath the 200, not my favorite place to be unless I'm a bear. I'm not a bear, so price action, you can see with the quadrant lines on there, you can see it's no longer in the lower third, so it's just kind of neutral right there. So that's neutral on T2123. You can see it was down here in bearish territory. So we'll take this off. Okay, now looking from the perspective of the April low, price is still in the upper third. So it's still bullish on the 3-bar chart. All right, by moving up and holding the higher ground up there. Okay, a little bit better than what the 10-minute was doing. Remember, the 10-minute came down, made a lower high, came down, made a lower low, and now it's having a pullback right now. So there's the 10-minute chart. All right, and let's go back to the 2-hour chart, because that's what we were watching, was the 2-hour or the 3-bar chart. There it is, 3-bar chart. All right, so there's T2123, FNGU. We got this morning's price action is looking positive. Notice we got consolidation over prior consolidation. That gives me a bullish bias as well. Price action up over rising 200 SMA. That gives me hope as well. And we've got price action up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That also gives me hope for FNGU as well there. All right, let's take a look at the economic calendar. And for the dollar, I'm going to zoom out. Got a dollar downtrend into a bear flag. They were in an uptrend. Price action, there's a low right there. We made lower lows, so we're now in a downtrend on the US dollar. Okay, on the earnings, we got the big one coming Wednesday. That's 609 billion. It's over half a trillion. Okay, on Wednesday, they're going to report in the evening. On Thursday, you've got Broadcom's going to report let's just call it $1.8 trillion. They're going to report on the 11th. Okay, $1.8 trillion on the 11th. That is Broadcom. Costco got 397 billion. They're going to report in the evening with Broadcom in the evening. Axia, still looking for the P&L. Everybody else, just familiar names. Nothing that's going to move the markets on Thursday. Wednesday, what do we got? Again, Oracle, 609 billion. Adobe, 137 billion. Those both are going to report in the evening. They're tech. SNPS, which is Synapsis, $86 billion. Okay, so the rest of them are just familiar names, but nothing that's going to move the markets for Wednesday. For Tuesday, still looking for the P&L there. And you can see AutoZone, another familiar names, just looking for, actually just familiar names, nothing that's going to move the markets on Tuesday. Monday, what do we got? Toll Brothers. Again, today, nothing but familiar names, nothing that's going to move the markets. We don't really get going till Wednesday, on Wednesday evening, and that's when Oracle and Adobe are going to report alongside of Synapsis. Okay, so that's when all the action's going to start on the evening of the 10th. That's Wednesday. Economic calendar, nothing really scheduled for today. For tomorrow, FOMC meeting begins. Okay, NFIB Small Business Optimism Index at 6 a.m. in the morning. Wow, that's early. Productivity and goals and costs, that's at 8:30 tomorrow. JOLTS is coming out at 10. Okay, so really light day tomorrow for the market. as far as economic news and earnings go on today and tomorrow. Really light day. Wednesday, remember we got some Oracle's going to report, and what was the other one? It was Oracle and trying to think. Well, Oracle and Adobe. All right. On Wednesday, we've got MBA mortgage applications at 7. That's normal. Employment costs index, that's delayed. That's at 8:30. That'll be a headliner right there. Petroleum report at 10:30. Wholesale inventories at 10. And FOMC announcement comes out at 2 p.m. That'll be the headline. And then Federal Chair presser right around 2:30 right there. We'll hit these 2 days later on. Just remember on Thursday, okay, on the earnings calendar, we're going to have Broadcom. All right, that's $1.8 trillion. That's a lot of market cap. Things will probably move in the market due to Broadcom earnings. Max Payne for today, 683. Put the call ratio of about 1.2 puts for each call that expires today. All right, so, all right, that's it for me this morning, okay? Again, be careful on the SPY. All right, there is a possible triple top, okay, on SPY. But I don't think it's going to manifest into a big down red day. I don't think so. But I just want to point it out, we are at a triple top. So for me, I mean, if you broke this red candle low, for me, that would be a deal breaker right there. Okay, breaking that that red candle low. For the other one there, let's see what else we got here. What am I thinking of? QQQ. Brain fog. Now, QQQ doesn't have a triple top or a double top. Instead, they've got what's looking like a possible bearish head and shoulders. Unless, of course, price can race up there and decapitate the head, all right, that will negate the bearish head and shoulders pattern, which seems to be building out right now. We'll see. So there's QQQ. Again, it's just a possibility. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen. All right, that's it, traders. I'll see you guys in about 35 minutes. We'll open up the markets, trade them live. Don't forget, every day is recorded. All right, and if you're looking for my recordings, you're going to find them right here. Okay, next to the people, hit the hamburger, come down to archives, and there's the recording. And it starts out with the market open every day. Okay, market open. So you can see how I trade the market open. All right, you got it here, everywhere. Okay, almost every day you got a market open except for open house. We had technical difficulties that day. All right, so if you're looking for the recordings, all right, they're all right here in archives. Okay, right in archives. Anyways, all right, I will be back in 30 minutes.